Good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on when you're watching this, ladies and gentlemen. Allincrypto here, and welcome back, guys, for another daily cryptocurrency market update. And you can probably guess what it is we're going to be talking about in this video. Bitcoin's flash crash last night. I believe Bitcoin sold off in the space of just over an hour to the tune of 11-12%. We're going to be diving into that in this video and taking an objective look at everything, looking at the charts, which are our source of truth, and looking at what they are telling us in regards to moving forward and what to look out for. We're going to talk about what I believe caused the crash and look at some of the narratives that people are associating with what caused this crash, and talk about everything in between. So strap yourselves in, guys. This, in my opinion, is just a normal day at the office. If you've been in crypto for even this year alone, you would have been subject to volatile moves like this. We had previously been looking at the fact, based on a number of things, which I am just pulling up, that Bitcoin was going to have a big move. And we had expressed our opinion. And if you've been following this channel, you would have expected, or at least have seen with some sort of a good probability, a pullback, a probability of a drop coming. And that is indeed what we've had. So if you look at the weekly Bollinger Bands, we had speculated that actually you were going to get a big move here as they are constricting. And also if you look at historical volatility and you go back, you typically will get a move with momentum that comes on the back end of historic volatility. Bitcoin essentially has just been ranging now for a significant period of time, and ultimately it broke out of that range. Now, this is the Bitfinex chart, which does show a toe under the low that we've got here, which would be a break in market structure. However, it is the only exchange that is actually showing this. And why are we getting this discrepancy with all these exchanges? Well, it's for the same reason that the sell-off was to this magnitude. So we had spoke about the low historic volatility. We'd spoke about the Bollinger Bands constricting. We'd also spoken about record low trading volumes. This has all contributed, and by the way, Bitfinex is one of the lower trading volumes, one of the lowest trading volumes. This has all contributed to the magnitude of the sell-off that we have had. And it's very interesting to me that you've got that selling May and come back in St. Lege's Day. St. Lege's Day, people coming back to the markets in literally 2 weeks' time. We've gone past that very sort of lackluster summer into everyone coming back and getting behind the desks. And it's interesting that this is occurring at a point where a Bitcoin ETF is a given. We're just waiting on approval and confirmation. And all the largest industry players in the entire world, the biggest financial institutions, are all positioned towards the crypto space. Very interesting that this has happened. I do believe that this is just a flush out, and actually we still remain absolutely bullish on not just Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency space, and the markets at large. You know, a sell-off was very much expected, or a high probability. We had expressed our concern that a big move was coming, and we weren't really that sure which way it was going to go. It's gone to the downside. The sell-off, in my opinion, was not caused as a result of Tesla dumping Bitcoin. Tesla would have dumped their Bitcoin a long time ago. Yeah, everyone attributed. People always look for somebody to blame. Sometimes it's just the nature of the market that you're in. Okay? And crypto is arguably the most volatile asset class in the world at a time when you have never seen such volatility in regards to the macroeconomic landscape and uncertainty. What you're trying to do here as an investor in crypto is, what I've tried to do is time that market. I think we've done it rather well. And I think we'll continue to get it with the benefit of hindsight very right. You know, we have ultimately been buying crypto since January. And I want to go back and take a look at that. So not Bitcoin, but we'll come back onto Bitcoin. The total market cap. You know, we have been buying crypto since here this year. And I think the total market cap has largely validated that decision as we assessed there was a fundamental change between this bear market into what we believe is now the early signs of a bull market. For altcoins, you cannot say they're in a bull market. They've just really gone sideways since we've been buying. But we still assess that this has been a great time for accumulating. And I think we'll be very right on that. We don't expect all of a sudden Bitcoin does this, everyone's looking at 10K. I don't even think there's been an invalidation in market structure yet for people to start warranting and calling for even a trip down to the 20s, low 20s. So yesterday's crash was not caused by Tesla. Tesla would have already sold their Bitcoin. Who cares about Tesla selling their Bitcoin? It's totally irrelevant as far as I'm concerned. If you are using Elon Musk as a barometer for when you should buy and sell Bitcoin, then you'd have been wrecked, okay? If you look at when he bought Bitcoin, it was just before it started to sell off. If you look at when he sold it, it was just as it started to bottom out and go up. There's also a lot of sort of macroeconomic turbulence. Of course, you had Evergrande, which was a big story last year, filing for bankruptcy. This has massively, and there will be contagion with Asia, hit the Asian stock market. This is a very weak market. This is a Hang Seng. Got the CZSE component index. You're at a point now where you are likely going to break this resistance. And then you've got the Nifty 50, which has actually been doing quite well, which is a Japanese stock. But again, could be due a pullback. We had looked at the stock market being overripe and pulling back at this level. It's doing exactly that. We do expect the stock market to go to new all-time highs. There is a lot of people out there calling for 2008 and 2020, premature bears we've called them, to happen again right now. Well, in actual fact, we do believe a crash is coming, but to suggest that a crash that has been accurately predicted by the yield curve, whether it be 2020, whether it be 2008, whatever it may be, actually happening now at a point where the yield curve is the most uninverted it's been, typically the crashes historically have only happened at point of uninversion. So this would be the first time of it. We don't assess that a crash is here. We think this is just market volatility that ultimately we do expect to result to the upside. So Bitcoin's crash, in my opinion, was very much caused by a lack of trading volume, a significant sell pressure that's then caused a cascade of liquidations. And ultimately, that is the story. It doesn't really have anything to do with SpaceX, although that was news that there's always news, right? Just like with the stock market, we were expecting to sell off. There's now news to support it. And again, it's very interesting to me that this sell-off has actually occurred at a point where Bitcoin is about to become globally recognized. And the interesting thing with this sell-off is actually Bitcoin got hit significantly more than altcoins. You'd have been better off. We have very small $100 million market caps that we invest in that did better than Bitcoin under this sell-off. So it's very interesting. The volume's very insignificant on it. This could be, sometimes you need that catalyst to take you to the upside, and this could be exactly that. There's been no break in market structure as far as I'm concerned. What am I talking about in regards to market structure? Well, I'm talking about your basic Dow theory, which so many people throw out the window, even though the simplicity of it is what makes it so great. There's been no break actually of this. You've sort of come down to this region here. The only break that there's been on is Bitfinex, and it is the only one, which suggests there was probably likely a lot of liquidations that actually took place on that exchange. And I do find that very interesting, to say the least. So we still remain bullish. And we still are. I understand there was a lot of emotions in regards to yesterday's price action. It wasn't something we expected in terms of the severity, but it was certainly a high probability in terms of, there being a pullback, sell-off. And you've got it. Is this just a flush out into when everyone gets back to the markets, not just for Bitcoin, but crypto in the next couple of weeks? I do potentially believe so. I don't believe it had really anything to do with Tesla. I don't believe it really has anything to do with anything other than the fact that Bitcoin has got very low volume across the board. There's been a significant sell pressure. It's overwhelmed the buyers, and then there's been a cascade of sell pressure on the back end of liquidations. That's ultimately caused downside momentum. Many altcoins are actually doing significantly well. Again, you are on the precipice of this asset class being recognized as exactly that. Ethereum surges 11% after a report the SEC is set to approve a futures ETF. You may get that today. You may. Bearing in mind, there are reasons why we're long, guys, okay? It's not just we feel like the market's going to go up. There's a lot of technical reasons why we're long. There's a lot of fundamental reasons. There's a lot of macro reasons, micro, whatever it may be. It could just be another retest. Okay, but you've got to see that strength come in. And I wouldn't be surprised in the same manner that you had here, you see some news come out that sends this to the upside. This could just be a get retail out, get everyone short, trap them, and send it. We will see, though. A lot's got to happen. So do not panic. Again, when you look at the grand scheme of things, we've been buying from this point onwards, after getting out from this point onwards. All of a sudden, Twitter's perfectly called this. When you see capo trending, you know you're in trouble. And I just want to stress this. I think capo actually got 2022 pretty spectacularly right. We were a little bit late to that party. We didn't call this top here. We got out here. But since the start of the year, he's been really max short from here. And the prices, went nearly 100% against him. That is well and truly wrecked. I don't know how bears are claiming victory on this move here. Yes, it is significant. Yes, there is cause for concern in regards to a number of things. And what we'll do is we'll actually draw those. If you want to find a bearish narrative, you could perhaps look at what may be considered a rising wedge. At a push. More importantly, though, it's this grind line here that you've now broken. You need to get back above it, and then maybe you set up more of a and actually we're not a big fan of broadening structures in regards to crypto. You'll need to do something like this and see that upside. So Bitcoin needs to start showing some strength now, otherwise it will continue to drift to the downside. We will be keeping up to date on whether we see that or not. I do not see a reason for the panic that I've seen. For me, this is a buying opportunity. What you choose to do with your own money is entirely up to you. Again, sell-off caused on a very thin order book. We still remain bullish and optimistic. We still think market structure is intact. Until you start to take out those lows convincingly, then we look for further downside. And we still have technical structure that hasn't been invalidated. So on that note, guys, I'm going to love and leave you. If you enjoyed the content, like, appreciate it as a comment, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Thanks for watching. See you in the next.